getting the wake up call that I did in my mid to late 40s was a gift because it made me change. It kind of smacked me in the face, made me look at my life and change my habits. And so in changing my habits, I changed my complete life. And in the process, I got so excited about this transformation.
Muscle, mindset, and mission to help people age like fine wine. This is Janet McConnell. Hi.
Hi.
I'm health and fitness coach for women in menopause, and I am the host of this Inspire show. And today I bring you my special guest, Janet McConnell. Hi, Janet.
Hi. Hi. Thank you very much.
I'm glad you are here because I saw your posts everywhere and I really enjoy it, and I think the same as you. um,
Yes. I've noticed your content a lot and thought, wow, we are really on the same page. I want to meet Stella.
yeah, I thought the same. And like I want to inspire others also with my podcast. And I thought I had to invite her. How did you start when you start this journey or fitness?
I think I was raised as a child. I was very fit and very athletic and loved activities and was just a little firefly. I was everywhere. And so that was kind of my early roots. And then as I became an adult, I turned to adult things like going to college and getting a job and getting married and all of those things. And I forgot about fitness because
Hmm.
I was already healthy. I was already healthy. I didn't need to focus on that, and you can do that for a little while in your 20s, maybe your early 30s, but then there's something that happens in the mid 30s where there's a tipping point and all of a sudden your body switches and stops producing as much growth hormone and all of the vitality that you have as a child and as a young person kind of levels off and then it starts to go down and I went down. I went down with the ship because I didn't have any healthy practices in place for probably 20 years. And I found myself in my mid 40s really unhealthy. I had gained weight. I had high blood pressure, high cholesterol. All these things had happened over slowly over time. Didn't seem like it was not a sudden thing, but I found myself at a crossroads and I knew that it, I didn't want to feel I was too young to feel old and I was not on a good trajectory. My doctor told me I had early heart disease, and Stella, it scared me. It really scared me, and it made me kind of sit back and take a look at reality and realize that I had not been taking care of myself. I took my health for granted because I was always healthy. I never was sick in a serious way. And so I hired a trainer and just started exercising because I didn't know what else to do. I mean, the doctor wanted to hand me a stack of prescriptions, and I thought, why are we starting with that? Why don't we start with lifestyle and
Mhm.
let's get that first. And so I thought, well, I used to love to exercise. Maybe I'll still like it. And I hired a trainer and I got in shape over the next 6 months. I just got really strong and healthy. I lost weight and I began to feel better. And then I caught the bug for being a competition bodybuilder. And
Ah.
and so I mean, because the trainers there, I had all the surroundings for it, and I just decided, you know what? this is a worthy goal. I think that looks amazing. I'm going to try. And so a year later, I was on stage for the first time. And of course, that took also certain, dietary, nutritional changes.
Mm-hmm.
I had to eat more whole foods and things that were really wholesome, no junk food, no processed food, no alcohol, all the fried food, everything I had to stop in order to lean down to the
Mm-hmm.
caliber that you need to be for the stage. Now, this was in my late 40s. So here, 20 years later, I'm still, well, more than that. It's actually 30 years later because I'm turning 70 next year. And I want to be a bodybuilder in my 70s.
Amazing. You look
It-
amazing. You
Thank
are
you.
69.
I'm 69. Yeah.
Wow. You look
Well,
great.
it's what health and the healthy longevity stuff that we teach, Stella, is for us too, isn't it? And you look beautiful and you're so fit. I see you exercising and demonstrate. I'm like, look at her go. And I'm thinking, yeah, she gets it. Because when you get inspired and you help other people, it can't help but inspire yourself. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'm just 56.
Yeah, yeah, you
But
look wonderful. Yeah. I mean, it's an inspiration to all the women out there who are maybe in a weird place where you think, well, yeah, that's great for them, but I don't know if I can do that. And I'm telling you, I started from rock bottom. I started with good genetics, but that wasn't enough. You can't
mhm.
just ride and you can't blame genetics because it's the hand you're dealt, but you play the cards right, then it can still be a winning hand. And so I feel like getting the wake up call that I did in my mid to late 40s was a gift because it made me change. It kind of smacked me in the face, made me look at my life and change my habits. And so in changing my habits, I changed my complete life. And in the process, I got so excited about this transformation that I decided to quit my corporate job and become a personal fitness trainer and inspire other people to transform themselves. And so that's what brought me here to this healthy longevity space because who better to talk about it than somebody who's right in the middle of it?
Yeah, in the start, yeah, I had also good genetic, but it didn't stop me to gain weight in my 40s
Right.
because I thought in some way that I'm eating healthy, but I didn't know what I know now, and I didn't eat healthy. Actually, just maybe I was on a halfway, but it wasn't enough because I didn't move. So I had not 100% sedentary life, but near,
Yeah.
and if we eat well, then it's not enough. We have to move every day. And
Mhm.
I'm telling every day. Some of the coaches saying that 2, 3 times a week or maybe four, but
Yeah.
I'm not. I think we are washing our teeth every day. We have to nourish our muscles every day. We have to use them every day. I don't say we have
Yes.
to work out 1 hour. I said 20 minutes is it's enough, but do something, some body weight training or something really strengthening. We need to strengthen our muscles, probably because it's
Yeah.
not just about muscles, it's about bones.
Yes, bone density and stability and being able to protect yourself from falling and from getting injured and to
Yes,
have the
yes.
vitality and the energy to just enjoy ordinary, everyday activities that give your life structure and joy. So if there's not everybody, I have to realize not everybody wants to be a bodybuilder. So that's not the goal here. That's just how I got here. And I
Mm-hmm.
still love it, but I advocate for women and men to make a kind of an inventory of what are the things that you want to be able to continue doing as you get older.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to give them up. They would make you sad if you had to give them up, and train for that. So if you're a big
Mm-hmm.
hiker or a biker or a golfer or just love travel or whatever it is, you have to train for it. If I don't do cardio, I can't do all those stairs and all the, running through a concourse at an airport with my wheelie bag. I've got to train for that. And it's
Mm-hmm.
simple. It's not a big epic thing, but it really adds to the quality of your life if you take care of this vehicle that we live in.
We have just this one.
Yeah.
We have to take care of it.
Yeah. I had somebody tell me who was really into cars, collecting cars and loved antique cars. And he said, it's kind of like when you're born, you're given one car and you have to drive that one car your entire life. you know,
Mm-hmm.
Cars, they fall apart, we sell them, we get a new one or slightly used, and we have multiple cars throughout. But with the human body, you get one car. So if you only had one car as a vehicle to travel in, think how you would take care of it. How would you do maintenance? How would you care for it, clean it, replenish it, repair it? What
Mm-hmm.
would you do? Because that's your human body.
Exactly. Yeah. And I used to say that you in your car you have to fuel just the exact fuel and
Yes.
just that.
Yeah.
And for us also, we
Yeah.
just need whole foods
Right.
because if we are not eating whole foods, our body will start to not to work as before. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. If you put cheap fuel in a high performance car, you will know right away. Because when you have a
Yeah.
nice car, you want to put the best fuel in it so it'll run well. Well, yeah, same thing.
Yes. So you are helping for no, not just for women, for men also. And
Right.
what is your program?
Well, I am branching out this year. I have been in for the last 15 years or so since I left corporate life. I've been a personal fitness trainer and I've been doing it 15 years. And lately, I have just been really moved in the thought of being able to have a wider platform, to be able to talk to more people and inspire more people than just my little tribe, in the gym.
Mhm.
And so I'll continue to do that. But where I'm looking in the future is in publishing and in my YouTube channel and on public speaking stages to be able to spread the message far and wide. And I've done all three of those already, and I'm going to continue to do that. So I want to keep my training business just about where it is size wise, so that I have the time and the space and the energy to grow these other areas.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, and I remember something I wanted to say before about that we didn't eat, let's say, 20 years healthy or didn't move so much. And I just listened, Dr. Eric Topol is the longevity doctor, one of the best 10 doctors,
Yeah.
and he thought that every chronic disease starting 20 years earlier.
Yes. It sort of is a very slow kind of creeping thing that happens under the radar. And when it finally shows itself, like that's very true of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia. They start oftentimes take root in our 30s with sedentary lifestyle and fast food, drive-through food, low quality food, and and then but you don't notice it. You think I'm fine. I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm not going to have that. But even if you don't have a genetic propensity for any of these diseases, that they're working away. And your body, if it has the proper exercise and fuel and rest, has an army to fight back against those forces. There's a battle going on inside. And as long as you keep your forces strong, then it can keep that from escalating. And so that's part of the thing that happens with our senior years is all of our early habits are coming along. So, when that happens, it's much harder. It's not impossible, but it's much harder.
Yes, but if we start before 40 or in our 40s, then it's still not late,
Yeah.
maybe. That's
Well, I
why.
like to say, yeah, yeah. I like to say the best time to start working out was 20 years ago, but the second best time is right now.
Yes, exactly. What is the thing you now you can do and you before you when you were younger maybe you wouldn't imagine that you could do that in your 60s?
I think oddly, bodybuilding and lifting weights and being strong taught me what I'm capable of in the gym, and then it translated into my intellectual and emotional and mental world of what can I be doing out here that I never dreamed of. I've always, up until I became a trainer, I'd always worked for somebody else. I always had a job and I worked for somebody else and I took orders from them. And they were good jobs and good bosses and a good experience, but I wasn't living up to my full potential. And now I've had the courage to step aside and from that track and forge my own path into the unknown, take risks, be a little bit unsure, you know. I started before I was ready, before I had it all figured out. I started when it wasn't perfect, and it didn't matter because, up here I was determined. And so, yeah, being an author and a speaker and a YouTube creator, content creator has been so fulfilling. The feedback I get, the interactions. I think most recently, it really your question is meaningful to me because just at the end of March, I spoke at a big conference in Minneapolis, Minnesota for Social Services Association Expo and annual conference. And I did a session on cognitive health and the connection with lifting weights that's now showing up in rigorous research, double-blind, peer-reviewed research, that it is absolutely key that we keep our muscles in our bodies and it keeps our bones, the whole thing. And then the cognition part. So I got up and spoke and I just gave my speech. It was very kind of academic with some stories, some real world stories of some clients who had challenges and overcame them. So it was inspiring and informative. And I, this message is so needed, Stella. I got 400 people standing ovation. It was such a powerful, powerful moment. And then people lined up, like 24 people lined up afterwards to talk to me, to tell me their story, to tell me, their particular experience with what I was saying. And I just thought, oh my goodness, this is gold. I mean, it made me realize how important it was to step out beyond the gym and get out of my comfort zone
Hmm.
and share. share my knowledge, and receive their hunger of wanting to know more. That and their agreement and their recognition that this is, and so it's spreading like wildfire. It's really very important. And so I would have never done that if I hadn't already done hard things, changing everything
Mhm.
gave me courage and bravery. And well, I did that, so I can do this. Oh, I did that. Okay, well, I'm going here. It gives you a lot of confidence to do things that are not in, you don't think they're in your wheelhouse, but you are capable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also mindset because our, let's say, grandmothers, they thought this is the way they had to age, like, and be weaker and weaker. But that's not true.
Right.
We can stay strong and do things and stay active, do things we didn't imagine in our 50s or 60s, 70s.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why people are afraid of getting old because they see their predecessors, their own genetic pool, how they aged without doing these things we're talking about. And it's not a pretty picture all the time. Sometimes we're lucky enough to have, a grandfather who was, a big hiker and, really robust until the last 5 years of his life. My father was like that. He was insanely physical. He did all kinds of climbed. I climbed when he was 70 and I was like 30. We climbed Mount Whitney together. Now, Mount Whitney is the tallest peak in the contiguous United States, doesn't include Alaska, just in the 48. It's like 14,000 feet. I don't know, meters. I don't know how many meters,
Okay.
but it's gets up there, and I don't know that I could climb Mount Whitney now. It's pretty
You
hard.
could. I'm sure you could.
If I really wanted to, I'd train for it. Yeah, but we see our relatives just kind of my grandmothers both were very frail and just declined pretty quickly once they got to about 80, which is pretty good, but they could have lived another 20 years if they had been active. However, they were not exposed to this information. They were behaving the way the society told old ladies to behave. Just,
Hmm.
take care of yourself, be quiet, be still, relax. We'll take care of everything. You just put your feet up, and it's not a good recipe for aging well, unfortunately.
No, but I'm happy because it's more and more women like you uh, and me,
Yeah.
and I see really some of their in their 60s, 70s, they are so fit and they are doing workouts, they are active, feel amazing in their bodies in their 70s also. So I I was inspiring from them when I started, you know. I watched someone who were 50 something, someone who was 60 something, 70 something, like
Uh,
Train with Joanne, if you know her. She's 76, I think.
uh-huh.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm doing pole fitness also, pole dance, but pole fitness. And I watching someone who is 73, yeah, and she's going to the competitions, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I think it's more and more. I think the I don't know, we call it the baby boomer generation, the people that were born from, 19 late 1940s all the way to the 1960s, that generation, and then the one right after it, they caught the bug, I think, in time to, as a generation, be more motivated and understanding of the importance of it. It doesn't mean they're all doing it because a lot of times we know, but we don't do.
Mm. Yes. But I think I'm happy because of that also that I started and I'm not giving up. I'm doing it. It's my new lifestyle. And I giving example to my daughters.
Yes,
And I think it's very important.
it is. Yes, your example says more than your words. If you're telling them to do things, but you're not doing them, then it doesn't have a lot of impact. But kids remember what they see and, kind of like they can spot a fraud very quickly.
Yes, especially if they are adults.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you say for my something about muscles for my listeners? Let's say three things why it's so important to build our muscles.
Right. It's when we get into our 50s and beyond, having muscle isn't as much about aesthetics, how you look. It does make you look good, but that's not the main reason. The main reason is because muscle supports your bones. It is a glucose dump so that when you eat sugar, some of it goes into your muscles instead of onto your thighs. And also, and it protects you from diabetes for that reason. It's not 100%, but it definitely takes the risk factor down. And
Mm-hmm.
also, there are all of these chemical reactions that happen when you work those large leg muscles, the quadriceps, the hamstrings, and the glutes. Those are your big muscles, and when you work them hard, and they are really bearing more weight than your body weight consistently, they excrete brain-derived neurotropic factor, and that brain-derived neurotropic factor affects your whole body in regenerating cells, but especially nerve cells. And it doesn't stop here. It goes up into your head too. And so your brain gets this shower of a protein that cleans out all the dead stuff, repairs the broken connections, creates new brain cells. And we used to think that when you reached maturity that your brain just stopped developing, but we know that's not true now. And so we know that there's plenty you can do to keep your brain young and to keep it, juicy and functioning and full of vibrancy and intelligence and memory. So you are protecting your mobility, you're protecting your balance, you're protecting your memories, you're protecting your independence in old age. I mean, there's no better sales pitch for keeping your muscles together than that. I listened to Dr. Gabrielle Lyons. Did you ever listen to her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's
Yes.
a doctor. I love
Muscle
her.
is muscle is the organ of longevity. Yeah.
Yes, I love that. It's controversial when the first time you hear it, you're like, oh, she's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it will make you look nice because you have firm arms and legs, keeps you from getting squishy around the middle. So there's that. But it's so much more than, you know, a beach body. It's your whole experience, the last trimester of your life, the last 30 years of your life. What do you want them to be? Do you want to be active? What do you
Mm-hmm.
love? What do you love that you don't want to give up? Better train for it. It'll go away.
Yeah. If you could go back in time and you could tell some advice to yourself, to your younger self, what would it be?
Oh, that's a really good question. Probably maybe a few things, but I think based on, kind of you've brought up some memories for me, I think I would not take my health for granted that I had been given as a gift. Luckily, I had it because it helped me probably thrive more easily with working out as an older person simply because I loved it when I was a kid, even though I hadn't done it for a while. So don't take your health, your good health in your youth. Don't take that for granted. Keep exercising, even though you're young and you're not overweight, you're healthy. That doesn't mean you shouldn't exercise. So I think it would be, don't take it for granted.
Yeah. Uh, and is it the same, but or you have some other message to my listener?
I would say it's never too late to start, but the longer you wait, the shorter the runway to take off. So don't wait. If you haven't started, don't wait. Just start with simple body weight exercises. Watch Stella. She demonstrates all kinds of cool stuff you can do even when you're not in a gym and and challenge yourself. Set goals for yourself and really keep your sights set on the Olympic event that you are training for your old age. Yeah, it's an Olympic event and you are in training for it. We all are. And so just don't wait. And if you're going, keep going. If you're already going, be very consistent too. Don't do a bunch of stuff and then stop for a few months and then come back to it. Just make the activities and the exercise that you choose something manageable that you can fit into your schedule so you know you can do things every day and change it up. You don't want to do lifting weights every day, but you can do your cardio, you can do your yoga, your Pilates, your walking, hiking, biking, those things too. So stay active every day. So I think that's it.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, if somebody likes the gym, then go to the gym. If somebody don't like it, try
Right.
to find another body weight training. I think it's needed for everyone, but it's
Yes.
okay. Yoga, as you said, or Pilates or something like that.
Right. It should
For
be what
fitness.
Yeah, they're all good. They all do different things, and if the person loves it that and they're going to do it, then do it. And usually what happens is you get into something and you really enjoy it, and you'll start talking to the other people in the class, and you get ideas. Maybe there's a group over here that you can join that's going to go on a walking trip, or I mean, you never know what you're going to run, and you can branch out intuitively so that it's really something you want to do because I would never tell someone you have to go do this like right now and do your chores, and that's not fun. It's not going to be sustainable because even though something's hard, it needs to be enjoyable.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much, Janet. I really enjoyed this conversation.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure and I'm just really thrilled to meet you.
Me too. Thank you. Have a
You're
nice
welcome.
day.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.
Bye.